Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues, my professor. This evening, I want you to follow me as I join with family and friends in doing my presentation regarding sexually transmitted diseases, prevention, and education. My name is Dr. Garfield Browne, and I came by to share this very informative presentation with you. As we are aware, sexually transmitted diseases are a very popular and a very predominant disease across the sphere of healthcare. But the question is, what are sexually transmitted infections or diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases or sexually transmitted infections are generally acquired by sexual contact. The organisms that cause sexually transmitted diseases may pass from person to person in blood, semen, or vaginal or other bodily fluids. STD, as it's locally called, can be transmitted non-sexually also, such as from mother to infant during pregnancy or childbirth, or through blood transfusions or shared needles. The social media campaign that I am embarking on is to provide education, and it's designed to educate the Gen Y population and the Gen Z population about preventative measures to avoid contracting STDs. I would like at this time to share a short video with you which gives us a great synopsis on the definition of the different type of sexually transmitted diseases. Please follow carefully.
Faster than a sloth eating breakfast, more accurate than a blindfolded archer, smarter, safer, healthier in 99 seconds or less. This is Quick Zips, the late night edition. Sexuality education fast.
I'm Galena Mines, and welcome to our show. Viewers asked us to answer the question, what is an STI? Well, an STI is a sexually transmitted infection. Some people call them sexually transmitted diseases, or STDs, but doctors prefer the word infection because a person may be infected and may potentially infect others without showing signs of disease. So, we'll go with STI, and occasionally toss in STD to keep you on your toes. STIs go by a lot of names, and it can be confusing. HIV is an STI. So are herpes, chlamydia, genital warts, crabs, gonorrhea, sometimes called the clap, and a whole bunch of other things that are not much fun. Another thing that is not much fun is that a surprising number of people have or have had an STI. As many as 1 in 4 sexually active teenagers have or have had an STI. That's 25%. Think about that the next time you're walking down the hallway. What do STIs have in common? First, all STIs are infections that are most often transmitted through sexual contact. That is, when people get an STI, they usually get it from sex. And that includes penile vaginal sex, oral sex, and anal sex. There are other ways you can get and give STIs, but penile, vaginal, oral, and anal sex are the big 3. Second, STIs can cause a variety of symptoms, none of them much fun, including painful urination, bumps, itching, and pus. Yippee! Some people who get an STI won't show any symptoms at all, but they can still pass it on. Third, although there are 20 different STIs, they really come in 3 different flavors. One type of STI is parasitic in nature, which means creepy things crawling around you-know-where. These include pubic lice and scabies. Parasitic STIs can be cured, that is, a doctor can completely get rid of the infection. But they are not fun. A second type of STI is bacterial in nature. They include chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. They too are not fun, but they can also be cured. The third type of STI is viral in nature. These include HIV, herpes, and HPV. This last one causes genital warts and can cause cancer. Viral STIs cannot be cured, but their symptoms can be treated. If you get a viral STI like herpes or HIV, you will have it for the rest of your life. And the rest of your life is a long time. Definitely not fun. Thus, it is important that you learn how to prevent an STI. That's it for this segment of Quick Zips, the late night edition. Remember, sexually transmitted infections, or STIs, are infections you get through any kind of sexual contact. Some are curable, others are not. None are good. Protect yourself. Be safe. See you next time.
This episode of Quick Zips is brought to you by STI Street and the letters S, T, and I. The STI monsters wish to remind you that not having any sexual contact with other people is the most effective way to avoid getting an STI. And if you do have sex, use a condom.
You may be asking, what is the issue regarding STI or STDs? The National Center for Health Statistics in 2017 estimates that young people between the ages of 15 and 24 make up just over 1/4 of the sexually active population. However, they have found that young people between that age group, 15 to 24, are responsible for over 50% of all 20 million new sexually transmitted infections that occur in the United States just in 2017. Another 12.7% of sexually experienced adolescents and young adults on parents' insurances fail or are afraid to seek sexual and reproductive care because of concerns of their parents finding out that they are sexually active. So the question is, who is our target audience? And this evening, I want to share with you our two target audiences. Our Gen Y population and our Generation Z population. These two populations, our campaign will be primarily focusing on. So the campaign's purpose is to educate these two population groups, these two audiences, about sexually transmitted diseases or sexually transmitted infections. This campaign highlights the importance of being tested and treated if necessary, and also it provides resources to improve and prevent STDs, and STIs. This campaign will also provide a confidential community for members to share information. So the goals of this campaign is to reduce the prevalence of STDs and STIs among these population groups. We will offer group members safe and confidential places on social media, that is Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, to share and get information regarding STDs and STIs. We will use social media to reach the most vulnerable group members by educating them. We will also offer healthcare and public health professionals an avenue to refer their communities to be educated and for support. We will also use simple, user-friendly methods to reach all demographics with the information provided in a non-threatening way. So during this campaign, the organizer will observe important needs and seek to meet the needs of the members of the group progressively. The anticipated outcomes of this campaign are three of them, three categories. For example, the first one is influence. Through education, we will influence positive changes collectively and individually in the the Gen Z and the Gen Y population groups. We will also encourage the group support and interaction will be encouraged so that other members will receive the care they need and the support that they also need. And the third area of anticipated outcomes in this campaign is to allow this community to be known as a central place for resources and support for STDs and STIs. The social media choices that we will be focusing on in this campaign are two of them. Facebook, simply because Facebook commands a large population group for our target population. 88% of its members are between 18 and 29. And 84% of the people between 30 and 49 are members of Facebook. Secondly, we will be utilizing Twitter. Twitter has a wide audience of Gen Ys and Gen Zs, and they appreciate the convenience of watching videos and information, educational information that is provided via Facebook and Twitter. So there are some social media pros and cons to using social media Facebook and social media Twitter for this campaign. So one of the pros is that we will be able to reach large portions of the target audiences globally. This campaign is not just centered around the US, but it will be focused using Facebook on the demographics across the entire globe, because the rest of the world is also affected by these diseases. And so one of the pros, as I said, is it reaches a large target audience and it is global. A con that pertains to that is that the demographic, it was noted, is growing pretty old for Facebook. However, our campaign should be over before that completely happens. The ability to share, another pro, is that Facebook offers an ability to share varying types of sources of information. But a con is that one can become a bit doubtful about the percentage of the information shared will be embraced by the audience. Sometimes the information is not reliable, and so it is difficult to say what would be accepted by the target audience and what will not be. And so that's a con. Another pro is that on Facebook there's a great opportunity to connect, but we are unsure about the application of education. And this is a con. So the pro in this respect is that there is a great opportunity to connect with the target audience, as I said, across the globe. But the con that exists with this one is that we are unsure about the application of the educational material. Another pro is that Facebook is an easy way to share audio-visual information. And this is important because when we share information on Facebook, we want to know that the information is easily understood and that it meets the different needs. Some people prefer to see things by viewing or learn information by viewing. Others prefer to get information via audio. And so the second format we'll be using via social media is Twitter. Now, Twitter is a great avenue to disperse information quickly. That's a pro. And a con is many do not use the information to influence decision making, and that can be difficult for us because some people only read the information but don't see the necessity of applying the information they read to their lives. And so information shared is not always verifiable, and that's a con. So sources of credibility must be substantiated immediately. Another pro in using Twitter for this campaign is that there are opportunities to share and to watch audiovisual aids, which will inform our audience directly about the important things like the video I showed earlier in short snippets, give them information that is relevant and credible. But some people fear that Twitter has a lack of credibility on the platform, and this lack of credibility may adversely affect the effects of the information that is shared. So that's a con. Now, on Twitter, space provided to share information is very useful, and that's a pro. But the limited typing space for an explanation can be a problem, and that's a con. The other thing that's a pro is that the information on the platform moves quickly, and that is what we want when we are sharing information with the people we come in contact with and our target audience. Now, the con about having information moving quickly is that some target members of our population, they could miss that information, and that would be a con for us. I've also looked at the cost factors for this campaign, and it's estimated it to be between $5,000 and $9,000, primarily because of the management of the campaign and the supervision of the discussion forums, the maintaining of quality data that will be shared, and leadership feedback. These are crucial issues in the management of the campaign. And so another very important factor is time management of the resources that we have to use to share the information with our target audience. And so vetting the resources need to be shared, and so this cost is quite reasonable. It's not exorbitant, and generally the campaign will run for about 10 weeks. All right? Then we will be using several things to assess our success, whether or not we're successful. We will use the number of new members to assess the demographic penetration. So we will use the number of new members who have become members of our group to ascertain how new members are coming in, and the numbers with the total number of new members we're getting. And we will use this for both Facebook and the number of followers. For Twitter, we will look at retweets, we will look at the Facebook shares and the likes to ascertain what our penetration of the market will be like. Another issue we'll be looking at is information from engagement. We will use that to establish our measure of success. So how engaged are we? How well are we engaging the population that we're targeting, the populations that we're targeting? Are we reaching Gen Ys, and are we reaching the Gen X, the Gen Zs? It is important for success that we reach these two groups. Then we will look at our implementation plan. And so after we have devised all these things, we will look at the implementation plan. And I believe the implementation plan will take 10 weeks to launch the plan. This will entail developing content and the choice of social media platforms, which is already in progress. In week 6, we will look at week 6 to the launch time. We will provide a content proofreading and review. In week 3 to the launch time, the launch date, we will test run the sites and we will check the contents. 1 week to the launch time, we will do a final test run of the sites, and then the next run will be on launch day, and we will start and ensure that all is operating according to plan. And then we will look at a reevaluation process which will take place approximately 3 months after we start our our program, our campaign. So our re-evaluation will be every 3 months once the site is running, and we will be looking for any weak points, and we will see what our strong points are and how they will be beneficial to us. Well, in the quarterly review criteria, we will be assessing the market penetration using comparative look at the first quarter and projections. We will be following and comparing new membership gain, membership losses over the review period. We will also look at, in terms of Twitter, we will be looking also at the retweets, the likes, the new tweets, the shared tweets, to ascertain the market penetration in that one also. And so pretty much we'll be looking at the same things, the same aspects for the two areas of our program, of our campaign. I want to thank you so much. We've reached the end. I want to thank you so much for your time and for the opportunity that you have given me and allowed me to share this presentation with you.
Please leave your message for
No.
Denise Browne. message for Janice Brown.